Well, we're going to get into the driven pulley today. I had to delay. I had to go get a socket, and it's a 13 inch and 13/16, which is an inch and 13/16 is 1.8125 in decimal, and metric is 1.8110, I believe. So this is just a hair bigger, and so it fits. It's a sloppy fit. I'm going to make a tool to fit on this thing. Let me get up there, and I got to cut it out, but I ruined my 40-year-old jigsaw making another tool here that was the wrong size. So I don't know what this is. So you got the tool here. This is one of those things I've already loosened a little bit, but it's so we're going to get it up. You don't want to get it undone so far that that's going to pop off. So we'll call that good, and bring out my other little invention here. It's just basically a wood platform. I made this little ring right here so that the bottom part here inside the fins would be protected. Just 12 inches of 3/8 all thread. And then the thing I found in order to get around buying a tool, this is a what is it? A 2.5 inch diameter out here to 1 inch diameter plug on the inside, and it's schedule 40, so it's nice and heavy. And you can see how I relieve the sides here so I can get in. The nut will slide through here. It's wider than the nut is, so but it was also nice and stiff. And so let's see if I can get this thing off now. And I got my bar here that also which I need to open up a little bit. We'll be back. Okay, I got this holed out. I've watching these videos, I've come to the conclusion I've got to go to B&H Photo and get they have this wide angle conversion lens that fits on that'll give me a bigger view, and I might be able to be into some of these things. I'm having a hard time getting used to this camera as opposed to the old ones, because it just doesn't come back wide enough, but it does do some beautiful video. I wish there was more bandwidth in the world, because when you see the uncompressed video of this, it's really gorgeous. Okay, line it up. You want to make certain that that doesn't slide off. That was one thing I was thinking of again today while I was having lunch, of a permanent tool that I'll make. I've got some steel, and I think I can get a very big steel ring about the right size, or not, I'll have to get a plate and cut it out. Okay, I've got a 3/8 fender washer, and then I just for the hell of it, I got this plastic nylon washer for a friction, like a bearing, and another washer on top. So, and I got my handle here to kind of hold it. I'd done this before, and I thought, God, how much tension is that spring on? And there's a shoulder in here. I had to get the okay, it's off. And this is 12. I don't have no idea as how much spring I'm going to have coming out here. You can see it coming up. I'm glad I got a 12 inch. Okay. Yeah, here's that shoulder this bell was sitting on that I was trying to compress. Okay, we're off. Hallelujah! If they can't find you handsome, they should find you handy, as the Red Green always says. And I fit that description. Okay. Nut. And then this one has, they tell you when they put it back on, it has, well, I don't know why they say that, because it's got a red spot here. I guess that's supposed to be up. They say to put it on with, okay, I can see there's more of a rounding on this bottom side, and that goes down on top of this. So it, oh, I see, okay, because then when this nut comes down on the shoulder, on this part, it lines it up again. Okay. I'm running out of bench space here. I was beginning to panic here as to how in the hell this thing comes apart. They call it the hell is this thing called? An oil seal guide or something like that. There's this kind of rubber thing that the spring and the other cup part, and okay, that comes off and gets cleaned. Let me find something to set it on here. And the little, okay, and we got 4 little pins. Let me set something in here now. Let me get my little forceps out, which will return. Okay, we got the little pins here, and we'll clean those off and look at them later. I got this little space here to hold them up, keep the pins up someplace where you can grab them. I was always wondering what the grease was like inside here, and it's got plenty. So let's slide this guy off. Come on, come right off. Okay, and it says they're supposed to be oil seals. Okay, around here, we'll clean them up and see how bad they are, how they look. I find this is kind of interesting. It was like on the other one too. You've got the pinholes here. There's also another little hole down here which would, where in the hell am I at here? Look at the camera. There's another little hole right here which I would imagine is an oil slinger. You're supposed to put oil in here or grease in here, and you can, I don't know if you can see or I find the right, you can see gobs of grease in there. When it gets hot, the grease turns into a liquid and it comes out that hole and it lubes this part. So let me clean this up and we'll come back. I'm getting this grease out of here. It says it's supposed to be replaced with Bell reassembly lube, but that was that dark black stuff, millennium based grease, and this is kind of a yellow color, so I don't know what they were using at the Yamaha factory. This is getting kind of waxy and stiff. I decided I want to go ahead and use my O-rings. I've got one out already. Mainly I want to use some gasoline on this thing. You can, I don't know if you can see it in there or not. Down in here there's some discoloration from some leaked grease that's gotten hot and burnt. So that's an indication that maybe that O-ring here is getting tired, and the seals. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull, and then these little O-rings right here. There's one right there, and then there's another one back in here. I've got those two. Let me pull those off and clean this up. Use some gasoline on it. Now I've got the other O-ring in, and I'm finding that this guy, push it down in there, and I found that the end of this guy is just right. Actually, I can use this blade now that I can get into it. This block of wood. I can get a little bit more. Okay, reassembly. When you push in an O-ring, you want to be you want it level, and you want it set down all the way, and the lip faces. Where's my finger at here? The lip faces in, because that's the part that keeps the stuff out. So when you put it in, the seal's going to be the smooth edge is always going to be towards you, and the lip is pointing down. Okay, we got that. I'll put the O-rings, I guess I can put those on now too. You want to be really careful when you're sliding them on. It's really sharp along these edges right here, that you don't cut the O-rings as you slide them down. And some of this darkness down in here was wear on the back of this cup. Must be oscillating around a little bit. I'll clean it up before I put it back on. But I think there was a little bit of grease leakage around this first O-ring I'm going to put on. Get out. And I've stressed before on the forum that this driven pulley is probably going to be the one that, when you're doing these major checks, this is going to be the one that really needs the look-see. As we saw already, the variator itself was almost wear-free. And this thing, the pins don't, the other ones I dropped, the pins don't look too bad. They look in good shape. So do the slides. God, I feel like I'm back in the warehouse again, working on the forklifts and the conveyor belts. Okay, we got our cleaned driven pulley. Let me back up here. Got our clean pulley. Got our new seals on both sides. New O-rings. Our pins seem to be checked out. And so let me check the. Clean this guy up a little bit, inside and out. We'll lube it up, put this on, and then we'll work back. It's going a little faster than what I thought, so never be afraid of them. Hardest thing is trying to figure out how much lube put in. You're supposed to lube up the inside here with the recommended grease is the Bel-Ray assembly lube, which is this dark black stuff. So I put on a good smear in there. So I guess we'll go ahead and stick this on. I had to pull this off again. I was having a little bit of a conundrum there because of the new seal, but I pulled it off and I can feel up in here on this is a rounded shoulder, so they rounded it so that you can't ruin the new seal. We'll stick our pins back in. Get it. And grooves get a nice coating of on the pins and mainly the grooves here. This isn't the best applicator. Run it up and down a couple times and make sure their grease is coming out. Okay. And now let's see what else. Put the sleeve over. The pins are in. Okay. This has got to go down over those new O-rings. So when you're putting it, you put a little bit of, I call it assembly lube. Okay. And wipe off the excess. Clean the outside of the O-ring here so if there is any dust it doesn't collect on the O-ring. The grease inside will coat this shaft here as it comes up. And clean off in between too. I'll do this again with a clean cloth. I don't know if these things are coated with anything special or not. I mean, they have a different patina to them. Okay. Feels smooth. Okay. So much for the lubing of the driven pulley. What are we going to do? Let me think about this. I think it's back to the spring. And the compressor. Let me get that set up again. Remember we had the red dot up. It actually matches the one on the spring hole too. I don't know if this means anything. It's a pink spring. Maybe that's for old slow farts. Okay, you got our spring back on and our cap, and I don't know if there's no rhyme or reason why these things should line up. There's a mark down here, so I'll line that cap up with it. We have the red line up, mainly because of it's got a bevel in here. Much better. Got a washer, we got our friction washer, another friction on that. And now I go hunt for the wrench that's somewhere on the bench. And again, I said this is a 12-inch all thread. When you come down next to the threads there, be careful that it's, there we go. Okay. That's sitting down on that shoulder there. There we go. Enough room in there for your thumbs. Okay, we're tight. Okay. Isn't that slick? I got about $5 worth of parts here. It worked pretty easy. Okay, let me get my torque wrench set up. We'll come back. I got some house cleaning to do. Okay, we're set up here at 65 foot-pounds. Let's see if this works. I got a clamp holding the handle down. £65. Okay, I'm happy. That's done. My poor bent tool. Oh well, it worked. Well, we've got this thing back, and I remembered before I put the nut on, I opened it up again with a clean rag, because once you put the spring in it and tighten it down, you're not going to separate this thing. So, except you can. I'll put the little bolts in later. So this is it, basically just a washer and some half-inch plywood and another little piece that fits inside the vein part here to keep the compression of the veins. I don't think you could, but you know, I didn't want to take a chance. And then this little 1-inch to 2.5-inch PVC that's had the slots cut in them. Just big enough to, if you could see in here, these cross pieces, those were basically the what I used as my cutting line mark down here. I just took my hacksaw down to line up on those little gussets back in there. And then it's down the thickness of this depth here is the thickness of a hacksaw blade. And that's enough to get the fingers in there to work on. I don't know if this may be enough for one video just working on the driven pulley. So if it is, we'll see you later on the next thing when we put all these pieces back together again.